We have this full motion TV wall mount here that I'm going to unbox. This was sent to us to do an unboxing, and I'm also going to show you what it looks like attached to a TV. First thing we see is this really cool looking drilling template. I love when boxes have these types of things for wall mountable. You get the instruction manual, and I want to point out that this mount is only designed for televisions up to 100 pounds. If your TV is over 100 pounds, don't get this mount to mount this because it could have some stability or some problems, but only up to 100 pounds. So you get this mounting hardware, all sorts of mounting hardware. You get some, oh, look at that. You get like a level in here. Check this out. So you get a little level, a disposable level, I guess, but you could keep this and use it for other projects. And it looks like these are also maybe covers for different portions of the mount. And then it looks like we're going to get right to the mount. This sucker is heavy. This sucker is heavy. So here is the mount. This looks like this portion is what attaches to the wall. You've got this kind of a pattern right there. So here's the wall portion right there. This is the portion that looks like will attach to your television. You've got some other bars here that will build into your mount. To hook this TV onto this mount, you'll need to install 4 bars that look just like this. I've already installed several of them to show you what it looks like, but to how you actually install it, I'll flip this around. You slide these bars in these little holes right there, and then there are screws right there that go in and attach these bars to this plate. Now this plate is what's going to be facing the TV, so when you attach this entire mount to your wall, you want to make sure that this arrow is facing up. After these bars are installed, there is this little cover that you can put here to cover the screws, so it just looks a little bit nicer. And you may not be able to see it, but it looks nice. Also, after the bars are installed, there are 2 of these little plastic covers that will go right here on the edge, just to kind of dress up the edge of these bars so it looks a little bit nicer behind your TV. Here we have the back of the mount, and this is the portion that will face the wall, and you'll be installing this towards the wall depending on the type of wall you have, whether it's wood or concrete studs. And you'll notice there's all these little holes all through it, so you have a lot of options. I want to kind of show you a little bit here of how this mount stretches out and moves around. So you've got these 2 little arms that will push out, and then you've got 2 longer arms right there, so it can extend out quite a ways. This looks to be maybe about just under 1.5 feet. You can tilt this back and forth, and then this will go up and down, tilt up and down based off of your visual viewing. You know, if you want to look up or down or how high you have it mounted. You could do halfway and kind of go over here a little bit. If this isn't quite where you need it to be, you can move it way over here and tilt it this way. You've got a lot of options when you're aiming this mount to where you should always be able to see your TV perfectly no matter what angle you get this mount at. I've already installed one of the brackets on the back of my TV in one of the sections. Now you'll be able to install the second one over here, and you'll have to take a look at your TV to see where your screw holes are and how these will configure. I've just kind of placed it kind of evenly, just so. Now, to figure out which screws you're going to need, I've chosen these screws right here because the screws that I took out of the TV are very similar. They look about this, so you'll want to kind of compare them so that you know which ones you're going to use. I've also chosen this spacer right here, and the spacer goes between the TV and here, so it kind of just keeps it away from that TV a little bit. And if you've got cable connectors or outputs on the back of your TV, you'll probably want to use a thicker spacer to bring it out further so that you've got some room to run your cables. So all I do is I thread the screw through the hole I want it, and I put the spacer right there, and that will hold that screw in there. And I'll push this in, grab a screwdriver, make sure it's the appropriate size of screwdriver, and then screw the bracket right onto the back there. And then you'll find and straighten this up, and you'll put another one right there. And finally, we're going to make the assumption that this has already been attached to the wall, because I haven't done that yet. But when you go to hang your TV on this bracket, you want to make sure these arrows are pointed up, because it's going to be hanging on these arms that are sticking out. And you do that simply because you want to make sure that it pivots and rotates the correct direction. To set the TV on here, you'll see here, you'll put it down on those arms, and I'm actually holding up on this so you can see how it works. And then once that's up and this is attached to the wall, you can pull things out without knocking your TV over, and then you've got some room to maneuver this mount around.